Hello everybody, there is an experimental snapshot for Java Edition Cave-in Cliff Update Part 2. This is super exciting and also a little bit weird because it's like not a normal snapshot. You can't find this in the normal Minecraft launcher like you can find all the other snapshots. And in fact, when I download it, it'll be named really like quite differently than we're used to. So I'm going to first show you how to install it if you want to play this yourself. This is for Java Edition. They mentioned the Bedrock Edition in the blog post, but this doesn't have all the crazy world generation stuff that we're going to be seeing today. So before we show how to install it, here are some of the changes. Now, these changes include some of the stuff that we've already seen in the data pack, sort of experimental builds, and then also some brand new stuff. So the new mountain biomes, all brand new. Like cave generation, okay, we've seen that. We've seen that already, you know, that sort of thing. Water levels, yeah, basically we've seen that already. New cave biomes, well, we've seen the blocks, but now the actual biomes are in the game. And this terrain variation is incredible, and we'll definitely see that. Ore distribution is a little bit updated. Large ore veins we've already had. We've already seen these in previous snapshots. Integrated mountains, caves, and cave entrances. We'll see that in this snapshot. And now monsters will only spawn in complete darkness, which I actually love. I actually think that that's amazing. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So first, how do you install it? First, you need to click this link right here, download this zip file, and this whole article is just on minecraft.net, so you can find it from there. So first, download the zip file. Just remember where you downloaded this to, and download it. Now you need to go to your .minecraft folder, and if you're not familiar with how to do this, you go to either the Windows and type app data percent, and then you go to roaming, and then you go to Minecraft. But another way to do it is if you've actually launched the game, go into options, go into resource packs, and click open pack folder, and then you'll just be one folder into your .minecraft folder already. So you can just change, like you just go up a folder, and then you're in your .minecraft folder. I find that pretty easy. And then go ahead and close out of Minecraft. So we're going to close out of that. Goodbye. And we're going to go to the versions folder. So right there, versions. Then we're going to go find that zip file. Happens to be right here for me. And we are going to unzip it. Here's the unzipped version. We're looking in here, and I happen to have a folder inside of the folder. Once we open the folder, we need it to be this .json. Then we can go back up one folder. So we need a folder basically with this JSON file in it. And so we're going to take that JSON file and that versions folder that we found earlier. Inside of that folder right there, we're going to, and remember, if I double click this, it's going to have the .json in it. We're going to go back. That needs to go into the versions folder. So, oh wait, I just put it into that folder. But we need to put it into the folder with the all the versions in there. So there you go. Oh, and I already had it in here because I did this earlier. So we can see it right here. This 1_18_experimental snapshot. Ignore this. This is the one that we just copied over. Over in the Minecraft launcher, we're going to go over to installations. So we have play, installation, skins, patch notes. We're going to go to installations. To make things easier, I'm going to unselect releases and snapshots and only have the modded version selected over here. And then we're going to create a new installation. You can name this whatever you want. Probably like, 1.18 experiments. Ooh. And in the versions area, really the 1.18 snapshot, if you copy the folder over correctly, should be the only thing there. So choose that. I'm setting my resolution, but you don't have to, or you can change the game directory or whatever, but click create. Once you've clicked create, it should be here at the bottom of the list. You can click play from here, or you can turn on all your other things that we turned off, the releases and snapshots, and then go over here to play, and then choose the drop down. And if you just created it, it'll be at the very bottom of the list. Then click play, and now, oh, it'll give you this little thing, but now you will have the experimental build to play with. It is super weird. I wish they would have just put it in the launcher, but this is the way to do it. Now that we have it launched, you can see in the corner, Minecraft 1.18 experimental snapshot 1/pending, which is super weird that they named it that, because normally we have like week 21 WA, you know, that sort of thing. That doesn't, apparently this is experimental snapshot 1. No, that's what's been named. So we're going to create a new world in creative and check this baby out. World generation does take a lot longer than I'm used to. So just be prepared that it does seem a little bit slow. And here we are inside of Minecraft. The biggest thing to note is the mountains and the new cave biome. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Right off the bat where I spawned, we are next to a new biome, and this is the meadows. So if I hit F3, you can see meadow right here in the F3 menu, and that is a ton of text, so we're gonna make that go away. So meadows seem like almost the precursor to the mountains. So every time I've seen a meadow before, it seems like it was really close to a mountain. This is one thing to note as we're going through this. World generation is super weird. Okay, the biome, I have seen some like tiny biomes that were like 5 blocks big. Right here, it looks like we have a wooded Badlands Plateau right here. So you can see the terracotta through the dirt and all the grass right there. And then right next to a meadow. And then, oh, look, this is a massive cave entrance right here. Oh, with a, wait, is that dark oak? Wait a second. This is weird. Okay, I've given myself some night vision. This is, what? We have a dark oak abandoned mine shaft? You're kidding me. I've never seen this before. What? I'm so confused. I've never seen, what? An abandoned mine shaft that doesn't use oak? Amazing. So you can see that world generation is very, look, is this a, what is this? A mesa? Like, I don't know. I don't know what is going on here. This is definitely the weirdest world generation I've seen in a while. It's weird, but hey, we get to look at some of the new biomes. So we'll use the locate biome command to find one of the first ones that they mention in the blog post, which is lofty peaks. And we'll probably see a lot of the other ones nearby the lofty peaks as well. Looks like I'm inside of a wall. So here are some of the lofty peaks. They're very lofty. I want to point out that well, no, I thought that was powdered snow, but it is not. It's just normal snow. But here we're getting a kind of a sense of what we're basically going to see throughout the whole new snapshot, which is that the world generation, it seems like they just took the contrast and like cranked it up a bit. So this is the water level, and just look at how big those are. That mountain is, that hill, basically. That's very different than what we've seen before. So here's some lofty peaks. And actually, this is not lofty peaks. This is snowy slopes. I was wondering if this is snowy slopes. Snowy slopes is really what it looks like. We have a little bit of lofty peaks, but that's kind of not a good representation of what lofty peaks are. So snowy slopes looks like what most of this is made out of. And the slopes seem to be a little bit more kind of smooth. Let's see if we can find some other lofty peaks. Here's some more snowy slopes. So right here with this ice, the ice basically always indicates that this is snow-capped peaks. So remember, we are looking right here for the biome. So if that changes right there, then we are in a new biome. And snow-capped peaks, I am right. So snow-capped peaks seem to be obvious by the fact that they have all of this ice on top of them. Here is another new biome. So do you notice all of the trees? I hope you notice. You can't actually talk to me, talk back. This is a one-way conversation. Anyway, all these trees, this indicates the groves. So the grove is a new biome, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of snowy taiga, except that they always seem to be next to the mountains. And a lot of these groves, I've also noticed, happen to kind of be almost in an area with water. Like, like how you almost had like beach before. It almost seems like the grove is almost like an outskirt of the mountain, and it maybe it was just coincidence before, but it always seems to be next to a river or something like that. This is interesting that we have taiga going into grove because it has spruce in both of them. So far we've seen a good indication of meadow. We've seen snowy slopes, the snow-capped peaks, and the grove. I just need to kind of find you better lofty peaks. Okay, so here are some better lofty peaks in my opinion. And basically you can tell by how pointy they are. So the snowy slopes seem to be kind of like a biome that leads up to the lofty peaks, and lofty peaks seem to have peaks. So it's pretty easy. And then the snow-capped peaks have the ice. So these points are the lofty peaks. And I want to kind of point out here that right here, this is the ocean level. So if I hit F3, you can see that I am at 64-ish. And just how tall these lofty peaks are. I mean, this world generation is completely unlike other world generation we've seen. The only other thing that's comparable is like modified Minecraft. Is modified, the game modified is really the only other type of generation that I have seen before that looks like this. I mean, just look at how steep these hills are. That is not a normal Minecraft thing. So that's sort of a look at the mountains. Now let's look underground. And one thing I want to point out is azalea trees are now naturally spawning, or quote unquote naturally spawning in the game. Where before it was you had to get an azalea bush and just click them. Now these will spawn in the world with world generation. And if you remember, the thing that this denotes is that below the azalea tree will be Lush Caves. So if we head into the ground, you can see, holy moly, we have Lush Caves. And this is incredible to me because if I hit F3 again, we're spending a lot of time in F3 today. You can see that the biome is the ocean biome. But as I move down, I went to a beach momentarily. But then we also go to Lush Caves, which means that we have three-dimensional biomes now. Biomes basically were always two-dimensional. If you did a top-down view of the entire world, that was the biome that you were in, and that was it. But with this new update, we have three-dimensional biomes, where if you move in your, what is it, Z-axis, Y-axis, that you will be in a different biome. So here are naturally generating Lush Caves. I currently have on night vision, so it looks very, very bright, but you can see all of the large drip leaves, and there's even some small drip leaf in here. There's some small drip leaf there, some small drip leaf there, and I was under the impression that the small drip leaf would always be in water of some type, but here they are just chilling out on the clay right there. And this Lush Cave biome like permeates everything. So this isn't just like a Lush Cave biome and it's always going to have this big open air area. This big open air area already existed, and you can see if we go into the rest of the world, here's even some abandoned mine shafts that have Lush Caves, like it has moss in there. A lot of the moss is hanging from the ceiling, which I assumed the moss was going to be on the ground. Not sure, like, I don't know. It's just that's how it worked in my mind, is that the moss would always be on the ground, but there's a ton of moss in the ceiling. On the ground, you got the azalea bush, you got the moss carpet, you got your grass, you got your all of the glowberries. So this is what the natural Lush Cave will look like, not hand placed by some YouTuber. Now, to give you a good idea of what this will look like if you're looking at it, obviously I have the night vision effect. So we're going to just go ahead and clear that. And so now you can see all the glowberries and how they will look if you were exploring. They really only light the ceiling, and not really the ground in a lot of cases, especially like back over here in this big, wide open area that I was in before, which I've already lost. I don't know where it is. But anyway, just believe me that these big open areas, a lot of the light doesn't really hit the ground because the glow berries are too high up in the ceiling because caves are just too big nowadays. Lush Caves are not the only new biome. We got the dripstone caves as well. So here is a look at what dripstone caves are going to look like in the normal game. And this is just so darn exciting. We have these massive dripstone pillars in the open areas, at least. And then all of the pointed dripstone. I mean, this just looks so awesome. I love it. Now, it works just like the Lush Cave, where a big area is now the dripstone cave. So things like abandoned mine shafts will be abandoned mine shafts just with dripstone in them. It's a little bit difficult to see. So it looks a little bit less impressive inside of smaller areas. But if you happen to run across a large cave, oh my gosh, it just looks so darn cool. And once again, remember, I have the night vision effect, so you can easily see all this stuff. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, okay, they've added the Lush Cave biome, they've added the dripstone caves. Where is the deep dark? Where is the warden? Where is all of that stuff that I saw in all the videos? Well, not added yet. So we don't have the deep dark yet. We don't have any warden. We don't have any warden's lair. We don't have any candles chilling out underground. Those are the only two biomes and the only two additions so far. Now, also, there is just some really, really cool spaces. There's some really, really cool things that you can find down here in the caves. But if you were looking for the warden, sorry, that has not been added yet. So we're not going to find it yet. Now let's move back out of the caves and back to the surface, a little bit more about world generation. So one thing that's mentioned in the blog post is that now biomes and world elevation are independent. Before in Minecraft, let's say we had a forest, but we wanted the forest to have a lot of hills and have some high elevation. Well, the only way to do that in the game was to have a forest hills biome, which would bring the elevation of the forests up. That is no longer true. So you could have a huge hill that has a forest on it, or like this jungle right here. You can see that the world underneath this bamboo jungle raises a whole bunch. So the actual elevation of this jungle is raised. And that is now independent of the biome. The biome still seems to obviously have some indication of how high it'll be. Like we're seeing a lot of these Badland biomes be really, really tall, or this meadow biome is really, really tall. But you could theoretically have a forest or a flower forest or a taiga or whatever be at a really high elevation independent of its biome. What that will mean for a lot of world generation is that I think that we're going to have a lot more sort of even generation, where if you're close to a mountain, then you're going to get, like, I mean, look at that. Is this a desert? Oh, am I in a desert right now? Let's see. Savannah Desert. Like, deserts are not this tall, okay? This is not normal. If I'm over here at water level, at ocean level, deserts don't get this tall. This is brand new. Holy moly. I mean, it's just so epic and large and crazy. So that is now independent of the biome that is spawning and being generated. Same thing with the savanna. Have you ever seen a savanna this hilly? No, because it didn't exist before. Earlier, I did a live stream kind of looking at this new experimental snapshot, and we found a lot of really, really epic locations that basically just aren't possible in the current world generation of Minecraft. Here's sort of an example of this, river that has these huge, massive hills on either side. It doesn't even feel like Minecraft in a way. Obviously, it is very much Minecraft, but the way that the world generation has changed makes things seem a lot more epic, a lot more massive, and in a way, a lot more fun than the previous world generation. Remember that the world height has been expanded up above and expanded down below. So before, 256 was the most that you could build. Now it is 300 and 19 that you can build. And then we have a negative value down below where we used to stop at 0. I wish I could just go around and show you like all the world generation stuff that's changed, but this video only has so much time and it gets a little bit tedious. So let's cover a new topic, which is that mobs and monsters will now spawn only in complete darkness. I don't know if this is a permanent change, and I kind of hope that it is because I absolutely love this change. Before, and how Minecraft works right now, before this, experimental build gets put into place, is that mobs will only spawn at a light level of 7 or below. So that means that if you put down a torch at the edge of where the light is, some mobs can spawn. And this is a little bit counterintuitive because if you tell a player like, hey, you gotta light up your area so that mobs don't spawn, and you can easily see as a player that your torch is reaching to the corner of your room, but technically that light level is 6 or 7, and then mobs spawn, it's a little bit confusing to the player. So I like that complete darkness is the only way that mobs can spawn because I think that's a lot easier to say, okay, you got to light up your area. Otherwise, mobs will spawn. And if you have light anywhere, if any small amount of light is happening, then mobs won't spawn. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of lighting up an area where on Java Edition, at least, sometimes you have to hit F3 and then look at this little line over here, the client light level 15, but you're getting 15 from the sky and the block light level is different. And I don't even know how Java players were able to figure this out because you don't have F3. So it's just way, way, way too confusing. So simplifying that with if there is any light at all, mobs will not spawn, seems like an absolute step in the right direction. I mean, it's the way it should be. Okay, finally, the last thing that I need to mention is that there has been a lot of work on basically transitions from one thing to another. And so we get these like massive like cave entrances like this one right here that transition from outside, and I'm talking about like sort of the edge around this, to inside of a cave. It looks really smooth. And so I've seen a lot of that where, like, let's say we're in an ocean or something and there's a cave entrance, like right here, like wham, bam. It looks really, really nice. So that is really, really cool. Like right over here, we kind of have this little hole right here and it looks so smooth. It's like, okay, we kind of almost have like this elevation here and then right into this area over here. So cave entrances, to me, look a lot more natural in a way, where before it was kind of like just a hole. It was like, bam, there you go. There's a cave entrance. It's almost as if like it's been like rounded in a way where it naturally flows from one thing to another. Here's just an example of how epic I feel like the new world generation is. It's like way down here with this massive, I mean, just absolutely massive. This is so cool. This huge mountain over here. Gosh, it's just so epic. Now, wait a second. What's this tree doing here? I mean, this is kind of what I mean about like how weird world generation can be. Like, why is this tree with a bee right here? Don't get it, but it's there. Also, another thing that's changed is if there are caves, they will go into mountains. So this type of huge hill before, kind of caves would just kind of stop. But now, whatever sort of cave situation is going on, it will sort of respect that there's land there and continue on. Look at this cool, massive area. Oh, I love the new generation. Believe me. Look at this. What on earth? It's massive. What? We have dripstone and a lush cave together. Oh my gosh. This is such a big cave. It literally goes down to deep slate. It's so big. Up here, it's like, ooh, normal level all the way down to deep slate. I mean, it's so cool. Love the new generation. And that's really everything that is in the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 Experimental Snapshot 1. That's a mouthful. Thanks so much for watching. You will get all of the Minecraft news here on OMG Craft, so make sure that you subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of this new experimental build. And if you want to get merchandise, you can head on over to helloomg.com. Become a member today. Thank you to those of you who are channel members. You guys rock. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in another video. Bye.